Hi YouTube, it's Kathy. Today I'm here to talk to you about All the Rage by Courtney Summers as part of the Banging Book Club. This is the April read. Yes, I am aware that it is March. I'm traveling next month and I didn't want to get behind, so like the keener I am, I'm really ahead of the track. This, however, is going to be a spoiler-free review, so if you do want to watch this video before reading the book, you can definitely do that. I started reading this book at 9 p.m. on Thursday evening. I finished it by 11 a.m. on Friday morning. It's currently Saturday. I kind of was upset that I had to wait so long to talk about it. I also didn't want to wait a whole month to talk about it. I did sleep in between, but I did stay up really late and get up really early so I could read as much as possible. All the Rage follows a high school senior named Romy Gray, who has been the victim of sexual assault. Due to rape culture, small-town politics, and economics, she has not been believed about the accusations she put forth. Through this, you get a protagonist who is struggling to continue through life even though it feels like her life has been taken away from her. One really interesting way that the author has shown this kind of erasure that she feels about herself is you don't even know the protagonist's name for the first few pages of the book. It comes up in passing conversation eventually, but it took quite a while before I figured out what the protagonist's name was. In fact, I think we knew her last name before we knew her first name, and we knew her last name in relation to her father. One other interesting aspect of this book is the timeline. I found it very confusing, but I almost wonder if Summers purposely did that because of the way that women are relentlessly asked about the timeline of occurrences that they're reporting. Especially in the cases where alcohol and drugs have been used, memories shift, and it can be a situation where an interrogator will ask you a question and the timeline won't match up to what you've already talked about because you can't get it clear in your brain. That's one possible interpretation. I have no idea if that was the intent, but when I started the book and it was under the section now and it was actually something that had happened previously, this made me a little bit confused. That being said, I obviously enjoyed the novel. I stayed up until 1 a.m. and got up at 6 a.m. to continue reading it. Without giving any of them away, there were several different coping mechanisms that you could see throughout the book. And although those coping mechanisms don't apply to experiences that I personally have, I have coping mechanisms. So from a personal standpoint, it was intriguing to recognize those in a character and relate to them that way, even though they're not part of my personal experience. I enjoy that this was a very truthful telling of the current state of misogyny and rape culture. We don't always get hurtful comments from men. There are characters in this book that are women and are just as hurtful. There's several subtle ways in which we're shown how people place the blame on the victim instead of putting blame on perpetrators. There's so many parallels to the way we talk about rape and assault in our current culture. It's done in such a way where you just see what exactly characters go through and what people go through every day. Obviously, this could be a very triggering read, but it is something I highly recommend if it's something you feel safe reading. If you've read this book, comment down below and let me know what you thought of it. I cannot be held accountable for any spoilers in the comment section. And of course, you can always search #BangingBookClub for other reviews for this book and other books that we're reading this year online. On your way to the comment section, if you hit that subscribe button, that would be very nice of you, and I will see you later. Bye.